happening, Saints fans? We got some breaking news around the black and gold. In NFL free agency, the Saints have made another move for a veteran wide receiver. Cedrick Wilson is headed to New Orleans. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Girouard. I encourage you to subscribe. That way you can be notified anytime we do have any breaking news around the Saints. We also discuss rumors, updates, draft coverage, free agency. We're live throughout the regular season. We're live during the offseason. This is your one-stop shop to get your number one Saints coverage out there. Guys, let's talk about this move because I do think that it's an interesting addition to a wide receiver group that before this addition only had three guys: Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and A.T. Perry. Now, of course, there were pass catchers as well on the roster like Juwan Johnson. Alvin Kamara is even a pass-catching running back. You also had Foster Moreau, and you have Taysom Hill. Now, I will say one thing about this move. Cedrick Wilson's production isn't the sexiest. It's not something that's going to jump out on the screen, but I do think that he brings a veteran presence that is pretty useful. He can be utilized in any aspect of the field. He can be thrown on the outside. He can be played in the slot. And on top of that, like I said, the production. Last year for the Miami Dolphins, he did have 22 receptions, 296 yards, and 3 touchdowns, averaging 13.5 yards per catch. But one thing that I do notice here is he also had 14 first downs, which means a lot of those receptions that he had were keeping drives alive, and they were maintaining offensive momentum. And an underrated aspect about this signing, he has experience in the offensive system that Clint Kubiak is going to be implementing in New Orleans. He's the new offensive coordinator, and obviously Cedrick Wilson just got done playing in Miami where Mike McDaniels, a product of Kyle Shanahan, is the head coach. Now, I want to get your one-word reaction here with this signing. Do you guys think it's a good signing? Do you think it's a bad signing? Are you like, nah, I don't know? Are you like nice or veteran or experienced? I just want to know what you guys think about this addition. Let me know in the comment section because I'm interested to see what the Who Dat Nation has to say. I'm going to be interacting with those of you who do share your thoughts in the comment section. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say. Now, I want to talk about the fit with the team because Derek Carr, he does need some veteran presence. He needs somebody who's going to be able to be reliable and who's going to be able to come down with those catches, the oh crud moments, the oh snap, I got to get rid of the ball. Where's my reliable pass target? I think Cedrick Wilson has proven in this league that he can be a somewhat reliable-ish kind of player that can still get it done. And he's not like, some massive impact guy. He's a 6th-round pick coming out of the draft in 2019. And he is a player, though, that can make the other players around him a little bit better. He can teach them a thing or two with the route running. He's a really nice route runner. He can also help them command attention from the opposing defenses. So I think that that's something to consider here in terms of why this may or may not be a good fit. I don't necessarily know if, he's going to be the wide receiver 3 or the wide receiver 4 because A.T. Perry does have some very intriguing attributes that I really, really like in that player. So why I think that this is a good signing is the Saints, like I said, they needed wide receivers. They needed people to catch the ball for Derek Carr. At the end of the day, before this move, like I said, you had 3 guys. That's it. And it's a good, solid foundation. Chris Olave is a proven 1,000-yard receiver. Rashid Shaheed, an absolute weapon, a speed demon. And A.T. Perry, somebody who can climb the ladder, who can make those big plays. He has that big play ability, and I think that that's a really, really strong young foundation to build around, especially in the future. But Cedrick Wilson can be a nice option for the immediate help. And when you think about the way that the Saints offense operated last year, Michael Thomas, he went down with an injury and wasn't able to stick around with the team. So the offensive wide receivers, or like the wide receivers on the offensive and some of the other offensive players, they didn't have some of that leadership that Michael Thomas could have provided. However, I know that there's, drama, there's beef, there's whatever, but the team respected Michael Thomas from everything I've seen and from all aspects of just what you saw on the field. He was a well-liked, well-respected player. Now, I don't know if Cedrick Wilson is the guy that's going to take Derek Carr to the next level. To be honest, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in more wide receiver talent. When you think about some other options in free agency, Hunter Renfrow is a name that immediately sticks out for the obvious reasons. Derek Carr and his connection from Las Vegas. They had the connection. They have the chemistry. There's the whole third and Renfrow idea and nickname that he had because he was so reliable on those third downs for Las Vegas and Oakland when it was there. But I also think another option that could be interesting, Mike Williams. I think that could be a really good option. I also wouldn't mind kicking the tires on Marquise Brown. Bring another speedster into the mix. I think that would be pretty cool as well. But the thing about Cedrick Wilson, the versatility is just one of those things I love. And he's a player that can, like I said earlier, can command attention from the opposing defense at any given time. Like, you have to check in with him. You have to, take into him, or you have to take him into account is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, we've been covering free agency nonstop these past 4 days. I came back to the office. I was home literally eating dinner, dropped my stuff, came right back to the studio because I wanted to give you guys the best coverage I could possibly give you. But anyway, back on topic. Cedrick Wilson's versatility is something that the Saints can really, really utilize. And I want to see how creative Clint Kubiak can get with a Cedrick Wilson. Obviously, I like Chris Olave on the outsides. Send Chris Olave and A.T. Perry on the outsides. I also don't mind rotating Rashid Shaheed and Cedrick Wilson. I don't mind rotating them two as a slot option. Give Rashid Shaheed a break to catch his breath every once in a while because he is a really stout kick and punt returner as well, and there's value there. So in terms of more fits, I think the Saints will add one more wide receiver at least in free agency. I also expect them to draft a guy. They have met with Joshua Cephas. He is a UTSA wide receiver that's extremely intriguing. I also really love the option of Xavier Legette in the second round. I think that he could be a really good fit in New Orleans. But in terms of some practice squad guys, they're going to have to fill those spots in on the roster. And he is a 6'2", 197-pound player. I think that he can add some versatility and some explosion to the offense. And not explosion, maybe that's not the right word. But maybe he can add a little bit of playmaking. He can add a little extra juice, if you will. I think that they can get creative. I want to see Clint Kubiak do what he can do with this kind of player. They obviously brought in Nathan Peterman as well. In terms of the financials, we don't have those in yet. I've been kind of looking around on Twitter trying to see if I can see any information in terms of the money, but I do think that the former Cowboys wide receiver, the former Dolphins wide receiver is going to be a really nice option. He's a lot bigger than Chris Olave, and he does offer that experience, like I said a little bit ago, and he's a guy, he's not going to give you a bunch of points, but he's going to help you out offensively. Now, I really do appreciate all of you who have stuck around and listened to my ramble and listened to my discussion about Cedrick Wilson. My name is Trace Girouard. I greatly appreciate you for tuning into today's video. Y'all stay golden. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.